Hello everyone. In my last video, I discussed about the voicing and the place of articulation. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about the manner of articulation. So what is the manner of articulation? In consonant sounds, the airflow is interrupted, diverted, or restricted as it passes the oral cavity. The respective modifications that are made to a sound are referred to as their manner of articulation. The manner of articulation, therefore, describes how the different speech organs are involved in producing a consonant sound. Basically, how the airflow is obstructed. There are the different manners of articulation like stops or plosives, fricatives, affricates, nasals, trills, etc. So one by one, we will discuss about that. The first will be the stops or plosives. Stops or plosive sounds are made by forming a complete obstruction to the flow of air. The first stage is that a closure occurs. Then the flow of air builds up and finally the closure is released, making an explosion of air that causes a sharp noise. The plosive sounds are b, p, t, d, k, g. Here are some examples of all the sounds. The first will be the b in the word initial as in boy. Here, b sound will be in the first place. Okay. The word medial as in about. Here, the b sound will be in the middle or the second place. And in the word final as in curb. Here, b sound will be in the last place. Silent b can occur as in limb, thumb, and comb. So here's the example of per as word initial as in people, person, word medial as in capable, gospel, spin, Spain, spill, word final as in cheap, slip, pump, and silent P as in psychology or psychologist, receipt. Here are some examples of t sound. Word initial as in town, take, talk. Word medial as in fatal, butter. Word final as in but, fit, boat. Next is this d sound. Word initial as in dog, deer, dish. Word medial as in middle, admit, badly. Word final as in third, mad, old. Here are some examples of curve sound. Word initial as in catch, keep, close. Word medial as in secret, equal. Word final as in back, desk, duck. Here is the example of g sound. Word initial as in goat, god, grapefruit. Word medial as in figure, begin, angry. Word final as in rug, dog, vague. So these are some examples of stops. Next will be the fricatives. A fricative sound is a sound that is articulated by forcing air through a narrow gap so that a hissing sound, or you can say friction, is created. The fricatives are f, w, th, the, s, z, sh, z, and h. So here are also some examples of the fricatives. The first will be the f, word initial as in first and final. Word medial as in defend, affair, selfish. Word final as in laugh, loaf, and roof. Ver sound. Word final as in behave. Word initial as in vast, vain, voice. Word medial as in ever, over, and silver. So here are some examples of th sound. Word final as in health, path, cloth. Word initial as in think, thirst, thin. Word medial as in author. Here are some examples of the sound. Word final as in with, soothe, and seethe. Word initial as in though, there, they. Word medial as in within, leather, father. Here are some examples of sir sound. Word initial as in seal, seize, and sit. Word medial as in essay, scape, and pencil. Word final as in pass and famous. Here are some examples of z sound. Word final as in has, was, does. Word initial as in zest, zinc. Word medial as in easy, bosom, and lazy. So here are some examples of sh sound. A word final as in wish, cash, finish. Word initial as in shop, sheep, and shirt. Word medial as in mission and bishop. Here are some examples of z sound. Word final as in prestige. Word initial as in genre. Word medial as in measure, usual, and confusion. And here is the some examples of her sound. Word initial as in hurt, heal, and hell. Word medial as in behave and ahead. So next will be the affricates. An affricate is a plosive immediately followed by a fricative in the same place of articulation. English affricates are ch, which is voiceless, as in cheese, and jo, which is voiced, as in jungle. So here are some more examples of ch and j, like word initial as in cheese, cheap, char, medial as in richer, nature, feature, and mischief, and final as in catch, much, coach, bench, and branch. Here are some more examples of z sound. Word initial as in zest, jar, and jerk, medial as in fragile, urgent, soldier, object, and final as in change and sponge. So next is the nasals. A nasal consonant is a consonant in which air escapes only through the nose. For this to happen, the soft palate is lowered to allow air to pass it, whilst a closure is made in the oral cavity to stop air escaping through the mouth. There are three nasal sounds in English: m, n, and ang. So again, here are some examples of m, n, and ang. Word initial as in middle and mud, medial as in lemon and simple, final as in rhythm, seam, and lamb. N, initial as in kneel, nail, nose, medial as in inside, thinker, dinner, final as in fin, pen, and down. Ang, medial as in singer, longing, and hanger, final as in bang, wrong, and tongue. So next is the laterals. To produce a lateral, air is obstructed by the tongue at a point along the center of the mouth, but the sides of the tongue are left low so that air can escape over its sides. L is the clearest example of a lateral sound in English. L is divided into two distinct sounds, the dark L and the light L. If you say little, you should be able to hear the difference between the first and the second L. In both the light and dark L, the tip of the tongue is in contact with the alveolar or teeth ridge. The difference between the two stems from the position of the back of the tongue. In the light L, the back of the tongue is in a more forward position, whereas in the dark L, the back of the tongue is further back in the mouth. So next will be the trill or rolled consonant. Sounds that are articulated with the structure of intermittent closure are called trill or rolled consonant. A trill is a sound that is made when pronouncing a consonant in such a way that the sound produces a kind of vibration within the speaker's mouth. For example, r as in red and ran, in which you can see the tip of the tongue strikes against the teeth ridge a number of times. So the last will be the fortis and lenis. In linguistics, fortis and lenis, also called tense and lax, refer to consonants pronounced with greater and lesser energy. Fortis sounds are said to be produced with greater force and no voicing, whereas lenis sounds are produced with less force and are potentially voiced. So it is clear that fortis is the voiceless sound, whereas lenis is the voiced sound. The fortis-lenis distinction is usually thought of as the voiceless and voiced distinction in consonants. This is the distinction between the initial sounds as in pit, bit, to, do, few, view, su, zoo, etc. So here you can see that pit is voiceless, bit is voiced, to is voiceless, do is voiced, few is voiceless, view is voiced, su is voiceless, zoo is voiced. And in English, there are 8 fortis and lenis pairs. Yeah, this is the pair of fortis and this is the pair of lenis. Fortis will be the p, t, k, f, th, s, sh, and j. And lenis will be the b, d, g, w, d, z means zoo, and this z means casual, and that is the z which means judge. Okay, so that's all about the manner of articulation, and I hope you will be able to understand all this. Please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.